Okay, hope you see the slide. Please unmute and say, is this slides is visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, today's topic.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, done. Today's topic is Java event handling. Okay, event handling means when we create the graphical user interface. Graphical interface means by using Swing package or the Swing classes, we created the touchable interfaces, button, text field, text area, label box, and the layouts, whatever we created by the Swing, and we need to create some events over that by means of when we click on the button, some event will be activated and that should be displayed in some area. Okay, when a label box be created, that label box also we create, or some events that occur in a label box, something it will be displayed inside the label box after a event occurs. That means event handling. So for the event handling in Java, one class event and event classes and listener interfaces that are used to do the Java event handling feature. Okay, so event means changing the state of an object to another state, that is called a particular event. Click on button or a mouse dragging or a mouse clicking, these are the set of events. When an event occurs, some were properties or some other properties that will be enabled inside the GUI or graphical user interface, that is called the event handling. For event handling we are using java.awt.event. Okay, so abstract window toolkit or AWT, that will be that is also a GUI interface, that is also used to create a GUI screen. It is the alter version of the Swing or the extended version of the AWT component. It will be the Swing package, and we can add some more new features or new graphical user interfaces by using Swing package. But in the events or event handling properties in the Swing also, we are using AWT packages support. So abstract window toolkit or AWT dot event is the event handling package we are importing inside the program for activating the event and the listener. Okay, so event is a set of classes and listener is the set of interfaces. By using this classes, we declared some of the GUIs and the event what is occur in the inside the class, and by using the listener interface we able to perform that what the actions or the what the events that occur inside the classes. So event classes means action event, mouse event, or mouse wheel event. These are the different types of event. Some others drag and drop functionality, or action means some button click. These are the event classes which support some events or actions that is happened inside the class or by using the GUI components. Okay, then after clicking on this button, what is happening or what will be, what will going to see the some listener, some action listener interface is there. That action should be listened and appropriate actions that should be performed by using listener interfaces. When a button click event, that is action listener. When a mouse event, that should be a mouse listener or a mouse motion listener, mouse wheel listener. These are the set of listener interfaces which we are used. Okay, so Java event classes and listener interfaces which support to some mouse click events or some mouse drag or movement options like that. Then key event, that means when a keyboard, when we click something, that will be 1 minute. So here the key event means set of the keyboard events when we are occur. At that time, what are the listener interfaces which we are used to identify or listening that particular key event, and its appropriate actions will be performed. Item event, item listener is the text event is the class, text listener is the listener interface. Then adjustment event, adjustment listener, window event, window listener, then container event, component event, or component listener, container listener, or focus event, this type of listener interfaces. Whatever the action we performed, or which event we have performed, corresponding listener interface that should be performed. Okay, inside the program itself, public void, some add action listener. Is it? Some action will be performed, so this will be add action listener. Some key event that will be performed, public void add key listener, okay, or text listener or an item listener. That's the difference between key events or key listener classes and action event or action event, action listener interfaces. So when an event that is handling, first we need to register the component. Register the component means we need to declare the method which we are used to, which action we are going to perform. In case of button, add action listener, that means when when we click on that button, that is the action in performed or occurred inside a button. So when we click on that button, which action to be performed, or that should be listened by registration by using add action listener. This is the method we are going to declare for that. Here the parenthesis, inside the parenthesis, action listener A. We created one object for the action listener interface, then appropriate object will be invoked. Okay. Then by using that object, we create action performed functions. Then only what action that will be performed, it is performed, and it will be effect on the output. Then menu item, add action listener, then text field, these are the different add action listener or add text listener. These are the events, or these are the listener interfaces which we are, or methods which we are declared. That is called the registration method. So these are the GUI interfaces separately: button, menu item, text field, text area, checkbox, choice list. These are the different types of GUIs are available inside that in AWT component. And while clicking on that, or while perform something in that, some listener interfaces should be declared or registered initially. This is the registration mechanism. That is public void add action listener, add text listener. Add means the keyword which we are used to invoke the action performed functionality. So first registration is this is the component we need to report in the program itself. Okay. So Java event handling code, we can insert into three types we can represent. First one is within class, or other class, or anonymous class. That means event handling code means action listener or action performed functionality where it can be written inside the program. Is it? So that three types we can represent it. One is within the class, or we can insert into the other class, and by using the object of the other class, we can invoke the function action performed. Anonymous class means we never insert the class, but using the undeclared class or the anonymous class, by using that object only, we invoke the action performed method. That is called a Java event handling code. In three types we can represent. Okay. So first one is by using action listener or the same class we can give. The first one is within class, how this action listener could be implemented. Okay. So here one program, we created one package. Wherever the program written, the corresponding package we need to write. Then java.awt.star, awt.event.star. That means whatever the event handling activities we are going to do, the corresponding packages for the event classes all will be important. Is it? Then we create one a event, that is the class which extends frame. Which extends frame means one frame class is there. So that class it extends here. Then implements action listener. Implements action listener means listener is the interface. Event is the class. That's why we created a class for event and it implements action listener, that is listener interface. Then only the corresponding action will be performed. Okay. So this is the syntax for creating an action event or a event handling code in a Java program. First, we need to create the class which extends some class, implements listener interface. Then inside the class, we created text field TF. We created one objective for the text field. That is, this is the GUI component we are inserted into a GUI screen. Okay. Then a event, that is the constructor. Okay. A event is our class name. So the same class name we are using inside the program without the parameter. The same class name is the function which is called a constructor. Okay. By using this constructor, we created the object for the text field. Then it create the boundary for that particular text field, and button B created. Then B also, button also, it created some bounds or the size of the button. Then we called B dot add action listener. Okay. So this means that add action listener, this is the listener interface or the class we invoked or register to do the corresponding action. Okay. So by here itself, we are using the button B. That is, when we click on button, that action should be performed. That's why B dot add action listener inside the bracket this. This means current object or current instructor. Inside this class itself, we are going to implement add action listener. Is it? So here for add action listener, this the listener class or listener interface that should be registered. That is registered. Then the current instance this is going to add window listener, and what is going to do inside that the separate code here add window listener closing window. This is I will explain again. So here B dot add action listener, this is means which action should be performed and what is that. Okay. So for that add action listener, this means the current object. For the current object, we registered the listener class. Then here the right side add B, add TF means button B is added to the frame window. Add TF means text field is added. Then the size of the frame, that is 300. Then set visibility is equal to true means we can see or it is visible button and a text field. Okay. Then when we invoke the add action listener, the corresponding action performed, it should be performed. Okay. So for that, the corresponding action performed, it is declared public void action performed action event E. Is it? So here tf dot set text welcome. What do you mean this? B dot add action listener. Whenever we call a listener interface, the action should be invoked. For what action that is performed, it should be written inside a action performed function. So here the action is tf dot set text welcome. When we click on the button, that action should be happened. Add action listener. What is that? In current object, tf.setText means in text field, it should be printed welcome. That is the action we are going to perform. Okay. So these action listener we are implemented by using same class within the object we called the add action listener method and the action performed functionality. So inside the main class, we just create an object, new A event. What happens here? the starting or the execution entry point of any program from the main itself. So first initially public static void main, this is the execution starting point. Oh, here new a event. That what you mean by we created an object for the a event class. Whenever an object is declared, at the time the constructor is initialized or constructor is invoked. Is it? When an object is initialized, at the time the constructor will be called. The constructor is without the parameter a event double parenthesis we created the object. So that's why the default constructor without parameter that will be invoked in the class itself a event. At the time only, this constructor will be executed. Inside the constructor only, we implemented all these things. We created the button, we created the text field, and we registered the add action listener interface, and we added these buttons and text field to the corresponding window and set visible equal to true. Then action performed will be performed. Then welcome will be displayed inside the test field. That is the action we already given. So here the class is entered. Okay. So these are the method or these are the concept for event handling or event handled inside the or within the class by using action listener. Okay, so here the code, this is the code a event, this is the first program, is it? So here we created the class a event, and inside the main function we called a new a event. At the time the constructor is invoked, inside the constructor, that is a event in the top corner, and added all these one add action listener this. So here what will happen? Okay, so after running this program, we can have one window. This is the window. For text field TF we added, one button we added, click me is the button. So when we click on this, welcome, that is the text will be performed, action performed. Okay, so this is the code for event handling done by within or done within the class. Oh, here the window I want to present it. Okay, so just a minute. Present something. Window. Okay. So this program, I hope you see the Eclipse. So here the A event class, we are here in the main itself. A new A event means A event, that is object should be created. At the time of object initialization, the constructor will be invoked. In the constructor A event, the top corner A event. Then we inserted button B, new button click me. Then using button B, we registered action listener. And when we call this add action listener, the corresponding add action performed, it will be invoked. And by using this event tf.setText welcome, already we added B and TF to the screen. This is the yellow shade. So after creating or after adding all these, by inside the text field set text welcome, that should be performed after clicking on the button. Okay, so here running the window, this is the window we are going to display by using button we created, text field we created, click me is the name of the button. When you click the button, that is the action event. So add action listener, that will be listen, the listening by using the action listener interface, action performed will be executed, then tf.setText welcome will be displayed by using event handling within the same class, or by using or this is the one of the method for the event handling. Okay, then the next one is this the window slide is visible? Next one is event handling by outer class. Okay, outer class means Within the class itself, by using the constructor, we called the b.addActionListener in previous example. So here, there we used as b.addActionListener. This means the current object of the current class, okay, or the current constructor. We are whatever object of the current instance that will be invoked. So that's why it is called a within class. The event handling code will be executed. Okay. So here, this is another one. The code will be for creating the event handling code or action listener. We implemented another class. That is the concept called outer class. For that, we created a class which named outer. That's not a mandatory. We given the outer name just for an example. Okay. So here, the public class outer implements action listener. Here only we created public class a event to extends frame. The previous example we wrote like that public class a event extends frame implements action listener. The same class itself which implements the interface action listener. But here by using this outer class only we are used to event handling. Okay, so here public class outer implements action listener. For action listener interface we are using separate class. So here we created one object a event to obj. At the time a event to object, whenever the object is created, the corresponding constructor will be invoked. Okay. So that time a event or public static void main, we created one object new a event 2. That's the time the constructor that will be invoked. Okay. Here, the public class outer, we created one object for a event 2. Then outer of, that is the functionality or method we are used outer. Okay. Outer means the same class name. So this is the constructor for the outer class. Here, a event 2 object. We created one object for the a event 2 class. Inside the outer class, we passed this object and current object is the outer classes object. Okay. For that, we created this outer class and in public static void main, when we create a new a event 2 with the default constructor or default parenthesis, that will be the constructor invocation time. Here, a event 2 that will be invoked. Here, the same procedure, tfn button created, text field and button created. Then we set the boundary area of that. Then here, outer O, new outer this. I am highlighting this code, that is we created one object for outer class and this. That means whatever the object we created inside the class, this object that will be passed to or we created the object of the outer class. Okay. So this is the outer class object. Here outer the constructor that will be invoked at the time of object creation here outer O equal to new outer of this, that's the time the object is declared or initialized. At this time, the constructor that will be invoked. Which constructor? Outer classes subject constructor will be invoked. So this is the constructor here in the program code. This is the constructor. So the current object is the outer classes object. So after creating the left side object, this constructor will be invoked. Here we assign like that, whatever the object we passed through this object initialization, this is the current object. Okay. So by using that, we called add action listener. B dot add action listener inside the parenthesis O. O means outer class object. So this is the outer class instance or outer class object. By using this object only, we called add action listener or otherwise we registered the listener interface. So here the add action listener, when we are invoking the add action listener, corresponding action performed that will be invoked. Action performed, O is the object. So by using this O object, we created TF OBJ. OBJ means OBJ is the object we created. This dot OBJ equal to OBJ. This is the object for the outer class. By using that object, we created obj dot our text field dot set text welcome. Okay, so here we can implement the even handling by using the same class, by using this as the argument. That means whatever we created the object for our class, by using that object we invoke the add action listener, or we registered the listener interface. At the time of registration, automatically action performed will be invoked and called, and by using tf.setText, it will be welcome. Okay. Here, we created one object for the outer class. By using that object only, we registered the add action listener, and using that object, we called the action performed functionality. Okay. Then inside the action performed, corresponding object dot whatever the action we need to perform, that will be listed out. Okay. So after creating this file, okay, I just present Eclipse window. I will present. Okay. So here, this is the Eclipse window. Here, the next one is by using outer class we are using. So here, this is the outer class. Then by using this object only, we created the add action listener, register the add action listener, and the corresponding action performed, that is action performed means the corresponding obj dot tf dot set text. Obj is the object of the outer class. Inside the outer class, the current object is the outer class object. So for that, we are using, but using that object only, we need to create some actions. Okay. So the action listener or action performed, how we can declare or how we can register? By using within the class itself, by using outer class itself. Okay. The same output it will be shown after click on the button, welcome text should be reached. Okay, so then in the third method, it is called present something, window slide. Okay, the third method is with using anonymous class, we can handle the object. Okay, anonymous class means we did not create any class. In the previous example, we created an outer class. By using the object of the outer class, we invoke the action performed or action listener. Okay, so here we didn't create any class, but using that keyword here, highlighted the code like that, b dot add action listener, inside the parenthesis new action listener. That means we created an object for the action listener class, and by using that object, we directly invoke the function action performed and tf.setText welcome should be printed. This is the keyword b dot add action listener new action listener. Here we are not using any of the object. In the previous first example, we created inside this parenthesis, apart from I selected this statement. Instead of this statement, we are used this. This is the object of the same class. And the next program or the second program, we wrote like O. That means we created the object in the outer class. By using that object only, we registered the add action listener. Here, the third program, we didn't create any classes, but using the anonymous class. Anonymous class means action listener is one of the class. If we assume that by using that class, we created one object, and that object is invoked the corresponding action performed functionality. Okay, so here in the main function, we invoke the constructor new a even 3. So corresponding a even 3 extends frame is there. Nothing should be implemented, is it? Implements action listener we already written in 3 programs. First one inside the class itself, within the class itself. Here I highlighted the code like that. Public class a event extends frame implements action listener, is it? Then the next program, public class A event extends frame, but we created one class, outer class, and it implements action listener. Okay. Here, the code A event 3, it is A event 3, it extends frame and it is implements action listener within the program itself. Wherever we no one window or no one class we are using to implement action listener, inside the registration itself we created new action listener object. Okay, so here the anonymous class object we are using, which class? Action listener class will be used. Okay, so this is the concept of anonymous class. The same window, same program that will be performed here, but the difference is implements action listener, not return anything inside the code or the outer class. That will be assumed like it is an anonymous class, that is an action listener class there. So we created one object here. By using that object, we invoke the action performed and the corresponding text will be displayed inside the code. Okay, so here the window Eclipse, I will show that in window, the Eclipse window. Here the code A event 3, that is the program A event 3. Here this is the constructor we are invoked by using main function A event 3, A event class, then then this is the action listener. We created new action listener B dot add action listener, inside the parenthesis add action listener, is it? Then action event is there, the set text welcome is there. Okay, so here after running this, the code will be, click me, welcome should be displayed. So AWT is the one minute. AWT is the abstract window toolkit for event handling properties. Whatever the event we need to write, that should be by using in the class name itself. We need to implement action listener interface. Then inside the class, we need to, whatever the action we need to perform or whatever the object we need to perform the action, by using that object we need to register the interface. That means listener interface. That's why B dot add action listener. Then after registering this event, corresponding action performed functionality will be invoked, and the action performed we can display whatever the action we going to display. So that's the event handling. Okay, so here in AWT there are so many GUI interfaces that will be supported in AWT also, and it contains some of the actions. AWT button is the button is one of the GUI, and button class is used for that. In swing package we call J button is the class, is it? Because java.swing, that is the package we are using. So that's why J button, J text field, J text area, J menu item, J menu bar. These are the objects we are used for the particular classes. Okay, so here button is the direct class, and these are the events that will be handled by button. Action event, process event, then process action event, then action listener interface will be there, add action listener, the corresponding action will be performed. Okay, so here the button class will be declared like this: public class button extends the component, implements accessible. So whatever the in an action, in simply a button class, that should be declared like this. Whenever we want to implement something or it need to perform some listener or action, it will be in interface, or implement something, add action listener or action listener interface should be implemented. Then this is a corresponding Java button class. This is one click here button we created by using button B. This is the class we are using, button B. Here the swing package we used J button. Okay. Then the next Java AWT label. Label is another package. Then our label is the another object we are using inside the AWT. Then it contains label only for read only text. That means it should be display something. We cannot perform any action over there. So the label class, it should be declared like this: public class label extends component implements what is accessible. Okay. So here the component with the AWT which support label, that is, it need to be intent left or right or center. We can place the what wherever the label should be placed, that would be given inside the AWT component class. That should be, that is the declaration syntax: public class label extends component implements accessible. Okay, so this is for the label example, how we can create the label by using AWT. This is for the label class. LA frame class used for creating a new frame. Label class is used to create the object for labels. So L1 is the new label. First label is the in the output window itself. First label is the first label. Second label is the second label we created inside the program. Okay. Then AWT text field is the text field means the text area. How we can text field is the text box. We can create or we can type something or we can enter something. That's the text field. We are using the class text field is the class which is used extends text component is the class which inherits all the properties to the text field. Okay, the action corresponding key event, whatever key typed, what will be affected. Key listener is there, action event is there. While action event is occurs, action listener interface will be used. Here text area is the another property. Text area is the a large area which we could display some texts. Is it? So the text area class declaration, public class text area which extend text component. The same text field main class is text component. From that class, the text area and text field should be inherited. Okay. Field of the text area classes are scroll bars both. Okay. When we created a text area, it contained the left scroll bar or a horizontal or a vertical scroll bar is there, or both the scroll bar is there. We need to scroll it down or move up to bottom or left to right. We can scroll it by using these components. Okay, these are the different components included java.awt.text area. Then java.awt checkbox is the checkbox means we can select the option yes or no, tick the boxes that is available by using public class checkbox extend component. Component is the main class. From that class, checkbox is inherited. Implements item selectable accessible. That means the checkbox is accessible to the user and which item could be selectable. These two actions are performed inside checkbox on and off. When we click on that, it will be changed as the state on from the off, and when we again click it, it will be off. These two events that will be performed inside the checkbox. Choice is the a pop-up menu that should be displayed inside the window, that is called a choice. Choice is the component we are used. The class choice which extends component, that is the component is the base class, and from that choice is derived, and it implements item selectable. Whenever an item select, what is the appropriate action performed, it will be accessible means the user can click on that, it will be accessible to the user. Okay, so menu item and menu are the other features inside the event handling, and scroll bar it is will created by a GUI component that will be inserted the container. It contained a left and right or a vertical or horizontal scroll bar. The AWT contain individual scroll bar class is there which extends components, implement adjustable and accessible. So these are the different features or different GUI components that is supported inside the AWT package. Okay, here to close AWT window in Java, how we can close the window when we create the button or after or here the program. The example is we created after clicking click me button, welcome to be displayed inside the text box. After closing this X button, the window will be closed. How it will be enabled? So for that, we created this code. That is here, whenever we created something into the window, I highlighted the statement, add window listener. This is the statement, add window listener new window adapter. We created one new window, and when we click on the closing button of the window event, whatever the event should be invoked, that is dispose. This is the action for performed, closes the window and release the resources. uh, Instead of this code, the window should be displayed, but we clicking on the close button or into button, nothing will happen. Okay, the same window we again and again running. So if it is not on, or if it is not write this code, the window should not be closed. Okay, for when a GUI screen we developed, GUI screen we created in AWT, a window should be here. That window should be listener for some actions. When we click on the into button or a closing button, that event, that means that all the resources should be free and we need to close the window. That is the function inside the window closing is called the dispose. Dispose is the function we need to close the window. Okay, so this is the concept for closing the window. If it is not in the okay, here the program, if you take the window of Eclipse, here I am sharing the screen. Inside the program itself, when this window, this is not opened, that is, I commented all these. Dispose is not there. Multiple comments line will be put. Okay, here I commented all these things. After running this program, the window is opened, but click me welcome is enabled. After clicking the window, dispose event, some program a event. I just remove that. Okay. After clicking the into button, nothing will be closed. Okay, the window is not closed. Again and again running this same code, this will multiple windows will be running, or the in the taskbar multiple windows will be opened. Okay, so after putting this code only, we can here after running this, corresponding actions will be performed, and after clicking the window closing button, the window will be closed. That is the function dispose and the window closing method. Okay, hope you hear that. The time is 2:53. Okay, now so